Like our technology leadership has rightly positioned a new mission for reflections, specifically in line with AI. So that is to be an AI-powered innovative digital engineering company.
How are you preparing employees to take them forward for a digital and AI future of work?
We are now working with the practitioners and the respective subject matter experts within the organization. We have actually incorporated AI tools or its improvisation in a specific set of functions, especially our talent acquisition. So,
Hi, welcome to another episode of Reflect Talks, a series of video conversations in which the leaders from Reflections give insights into our various service offerings and innovative practices. At a time when there are debates going around across the world regarding the coexistence of AI and human workforce, we have Jithin Chakkalakkal, Senior Manager, People and Culture Reflections, to talk to us about the AI adoption in Reflections as an organization and specifically in HR practices. Welcome, Jithin. Happy to have you here to talk about.
My pleasure to interact with you.
Yes. Today, everyone is talking about AI adoption, and we have reached a scenario space in which we cannot exist without AI. So, can you tell us about the changes in the industry that are happening and where Reflections is placed when it comes to AI adoption?
Very much. I think a good kickstart to proceed ahead. See, while we look at industry, it's we see day by day we see so much of news that is lingering around AI. But I'll focus more into the where Reflections as an organization where we are. So, like our technology leadership has rightly positioned a new mission for Reflections, specifically in line with AI. So that is to be an AI-powered innovative digital engineering company. So that is our Reflections would like to know on itself to be. And if we look at one of our recent certifications, we are one among the very handful of people in India, maybe people in the sense companies in India, who have achieved ISO 42001 certification. So that is basically an international standard for artificial intelligence management systems. So this basically guarantees a commitment to and a responsible and trustworthy AI management practices. So being an early adopters, this gives us a initial head start and also gives our client a strong insight in terms of how they can collaboratively work with us. This also need a realignment in the culture that we are initiating. We are also working on, we ourselves call this phase of our Reflections transformation as R2.0, which is basically a cultural transformation initiative. So R2.0 is basically reimagining Reflections phase 2.0. So in that we are doing a lot of initiatives in terms of imbibing a set of unique cultural traits that are necessary for strong deliverables and ensuring customer centricity. So aligning to that, AI transformation is actually a unique initiative at the org level and where HR is also very focused on.
Jithin, what I have understood from what you said is that when we are talking about AI adoption, it is so important to take care of the people and culture, and we need to get them aligned in this process. So at this point, it becomes very important to understand how much ready is Reflections in this process and how are you preparing employees to take them forward for a digital and AI future of work?
True. So at the current moment, we are in the phase of preparing or maybe understanding the readiness at the org level. So recently we have conducted an org-wide readiness survey, specifically in generative AI and agentic AI. And the survey findings are actually interesting. So we got to see that there is a strong AI awareness. So we understand from the pulse that almost 50% of our employees are familiar with AI's potential. And and almost 40% have a decent familiarity. So that gives the almost 90% of our crew is strongly aligning to the AI awareness aspect.
Oh, that's a very positive thing.
True.
Yes.
And similarly, when we look at some of the knowledge levels, so we attempted to understand specifically on generative AI understanding and agentic AI understanding. So at generative AI, when we assess the existing stat, we understand that the team is almost at a level of 5 when we compare on a rating scale of 10. And when we look at the agentic AI, the value is comparatively low, which is slightly 3 plus. So this gives us a strong need for targeted agentic AI focused training so that we can groom our crew. So this is just very much on the initial phase of elements. And when we look at the standard training engagement, specifically in line with AI, we understand that almost 20% have already completed generative AI based training programs. So that is actually a great way to start with. Then while we align specifically on agentic AI, almost 6% have explored that area. So that is more like a self-explored drive that people have done. So which we feel from a org standpoint, though the percentage is lower, there are already innate drive that people have to take it ahead.
Though generally there is a resistance to change when it comes to AI, there's a kind of excitement that people have, right?
True. That also substantiated via our survey. When we compare the enthusiasm for growth, 95% people are actually interested in agentic AI training. They all have expressed they actually would like to do it. So that gives us a strong opportunity that maybe we specifically see significant potential to deepen agentic AI expertise and also positioning us as a leaders in innovative AI applications. So which gives us a good head start. Definitely. And we have now the base ready. Now we have to design our entire approach aligning to this.
Just really happy to know that reflectors are very keen on getting trained in AI. So now the question becomes, how do we take it forward from here? And how are you planning to do that?
Yep. Actually, we know that, well begun is half done,
yes.
Right? So we are focusing now specifically on the SDLC phase. That is basically software development life cycle. If you look at the base, when we start from the base of SDLC, we have code generation and development. We have some of the tools available like GitHub Copilot, and we have the following ways: testing, where testing is there. Then we have code review and analysis, where code QL is available. So likewise, there are multiple tools, and we have the following phases coming up like monitoring and maintenance. Then we have documentation, where we have Minify like a tool, and even the another phase, totally the project management phase and planning itself. We have good tools available like Linear, etc. So we are looking for how we can actually take up a combination of this versus the methodology. So that is where we are attempting to kickstart now.
Jithin, you mentioned various tools as part of our AI adoption. Many may not be familiar with these tools, especially lay persons. So can you explain how these tools would be used? Give one example.
All right. Yeah, I think I'll touch base at least one tool, yes. And we'll attempt to help understand from a non-technical person point of view. So let's take an example of code generation and development phase in the SDLC, and let's take the example of a tool, namely GitHub Copilot. Right? So you are a content expert. So when we compare, GitHub Copilot is like a smart assistant for writing code.
Okay.
It is more like similar to how autocorrect suggests. We type an email or even in WhatsApp, we have the autocorrect suggestion that comes specifically for words, and at times once we complete a statement, it even gives a refined statement version without leaking out the essence of the statement.
Yes.
Right? So similarly, GitHub Copilot will act as a text editor for the developer fraternity. Okay. So for example, you start typing a code. When you write a code in a tool like Visual Studio Code, which is basically the programmer's text editor, so Copilot will actually watch what you do. Right? Okay. So that it will understand what is that you are typing on the code. Then aligning to that, it will predict. Okay, so for example, we all may have learned in our schooling the basic computer programming that students learn will be print hello world. That is the typical thing that students normally learn in the school time. So when we basically type the base syntax specifically print, for example, we start with print, then I open the bracket, double quotes, hello, there is a remaining element to complete. So Copilot will understand this and it will fill the rest for you. Okay, so it is more like a grammar summary or a sentence correction that gives, and it will write the entire code element connecting to that logic.
Okay.
Then you can either accept or reject. For example, let's say it actually filled the code base and you, as per your logic, it is not aligning, so you can reject. So the copilot will actually understand that. So in the next cycle, it will learn from your choices.
Definitely.
So further to that, you can again pick, then when you write the another line, it will again pick and understand, okay, what is that you're looking for. So when we compare, let's say, a developer's effort, they may have to write, let's say, 30 lines of code or 50 lines of code if it takes, let's say, an hour. So this auto suggestion and filling actually helps the developers to finish the entire coding quickly and then focus more on correcting and relooking whether it is a refined code or not.
Oh, that will make their job much easier.
True. So that's how easier it is going to be when these tools are embedded along with the respective code lines. And this doesn't mean developers has to totally take off their hand. They still have to review it. But think of it more like a helpful coworker who actually helps you with something in the listed way, in a smart way, but you still can validate and reaffirm that your logic is aligning to the listed ones. So it saves a lot of time and effort and errors also.
Now it becomes very clear when we say that AI agents will be our co-workers in the near future.
True.
When we're discussing that, there's also another question, Jithin. When we are adopting different tools, there's a question that arises whether our clients would be okay with the tools that we adopt. So how do we align the tools that we have with the customer's needs?
True. So that is where, while we are thinking of this, while we covered this readiness pulse survey, we are now working with the practitioners and the respective subject matter experts within the organization. And beyond typically just training specific tool against a specific activity in a SDLC, we are actually focusing more on the methodology and approach. So we are going more like a combination of tool and methodology and approach. So the advantage is that we will equip the entire team to adapt to any tool that will align with the MSA or SOW of the client, so that they will get that vigor of remapping to a new tool, or even the methodology, even whatever might be the new tool that the client prefer, they'll be able to quickly adapt. So that's how we are attempting to equip our entire workforce in this journey.
Now you gave an overview of AI adoption at the organization level. It also becomes very important to talk about AI adoption in people and culture practices. That is your specific function. How are you doing that?
Right. If we I'm keen in exploring the various tools that are coming up and what is the unique value add that AI as an add-on it brings to the function. So there are so much of tools plenty available, but maybe we'll focus on what we have already adopted in reflections. So we have actually incorporated AI tools or its improvisation in a specific set of functions, especially our talent acquisition. So the talent acquisition team has wonderfully adopted very unique elements from sourcing, screening, respective areas. We'll touch base that in detail. Then specifically when we come the performance management space, we have adopted the Gen AI usage. Then we have also incorporated in learning and development. So that is a wide spectrum. So there we have so much of use cases in L&D to bring so much of personalized experience to people. Then comes the employee engagement and culture aspect, especially we being an organization where we have people spread across 18 states in the country, and we have now people from LATAM, Middle East, and coming up in the ANZ region also. So being in HR, it is mostly impractical to reach out to each individual and understand what is their pulse. So there we are attempted to use the AI tool, and which is really giving great value add for us. And we have also adopted so much of micro elements in the regular operations. So these much are the core areas where we have so far adopted.
Performance and operations management.
True. Performance management we covered, with specifically in terms of goal setting is an area where we are trying to focus on, and operations management, it's plenty. All the regular routine operations, one or the other, even our fundamental email formation itself now has so much of realignment on the AI adoption. If we compare the industry trend also, the major impact in people and culture function as such, if we cover, the big impact has happened actually in talent acquisition.
Process is getting more efficient.
True. Interestingly, happiness is a very dicey thing. If we look at every individual will have their own take on how they will be happy in various aspects.